Having very recently covered the Amiga conversion, or conversions, I should say, of this particular title, normally I would delay the other system's version for quite a while. But due to the fact that I partially wanted to make a other systems recap video kind of thing, but also due to the fact that the Commodore 64 and Amiga conversions have certain similarities which are interesting in their own way.
Get ready.
Hello and welcome to a look at Afterburner for the Commodore 64, a Sega arcade original that was converted and released by Activision and Sega. Now, if you watched the Amiga video I made concerning the same game, that will probably sound incredibly familiar, and for good reason. While I covered the foundation behind the arcade original in the Amiga video I made, I should be able to add to that without repeating myself. Bear in mind that arcade machines were made with the single purpose of eating your money. They had to be extravagant, loud, proud, exciting, addictive, whatever else they might have been, with the single purpose of you putting more coins into the machines and making whoever made the machines wealthy, rich. Due to that, an awful lot of power was invested into making the games stand out graphically, sound-wise, and control-wise, whatever else it might have been. And often even it disguised the somewhat basic gameplay loop, which was definitely the case of Afterburner. Any home computer conversion of an arcade original like that would struggle to get remotely close to the original material, and the best that you could likely hope for would be to capture the essence of what the arcade original stood for. The Commodore 64 has 3 versions of this game, which sounds perhaps a bit odd, but there's a tape version, there's a disc version, and then there's an NTSC disc-only version. And there are actually differences between the tape version and the disc version, which is somewhat bizarre. Namely, the disc version has a slightly different graphics compared to the tape version, and it allows you to choose between sound effects or music, which of course is somewhat easier to do on a disc-based system, because on a tape all the data is usually saved in a continuous stream, making it a blinking nightmare having to rewind the tape and find the right spot and all that good stuff. As a conversion, based on the arcade original, you can only expect so much, as I was trying to allude to before. And all things considered, I think the PAL version, I should emphasize, of the conversion is fairly okay. Nothing stands out. Graphically, it moves very, very smoothly, embarrassingly so, much better than it does in the Amiga version of the EU release at least. But neither music nor sound effects stand out as being particularly epic in any way, shape, or form, but you get the base idea of the concept of the arcade original, which, again, is likely the best you could possibly hope for. But, yeah, just like the Amiga version, there was also an NCC version release of this particular title, And of course, on the Amiga side, the NTC version was technically the far superior game. By the way, did that just say Outrun? Nice to know I'm not the only one that can make that mistake. The NTC version of Afterburner is a bit of an interesting beast. Because, yeah, whoever converted this particular version must have been told to be mindful of the basic gameplay loop, and possibly were incredibly mindful of the basic gameplay loop, but sort of forgot about everything else. You will likely notice that the main player craft looks very similar to what you would expect from the arcade. I mean, within certain natural limitations, of course. But you likely also notice that you haven't got any HUD, because I mean, who needs HUDs? That's amateurs. And you don't have any lock-on indication of any kind, except for the fact that enemy planes are blinking. That is your lock-on notification. Hammering the fire button will fire off your cannon, and then when you have something blinking, you will fire off a missile, trying to hit whatever it is that's blinking, or you can slam the spacebar in order to fire off the missiles independently and just whiff them out in blue. The sound effects and the music in this particular version, nothing out of the ordinary, nothing really stands out, and graphically, despite the fact that there's a lot less going on in this particular version than it is in the PAL version, it actually feels more sluggish, which I think is incredibly impressive, considering how little the system's got to do. We have to take into account the fact that the arcade original full cabinet version of Afterburner would likely cost you several £1,000 or whatever currency you are using, whereas at the time of this game's release or this conversion's release, the Commodore 64 would probably set you back 100 and 150, maybe even £200 or equivalent. So you can only expect so much. The basic gameplay loop of the arcade original would only be disguised by exceptional and spectacular graphics and sound, and while the PAL version does not deliver on those fronts, it looks fairly decent, it sounds fairly decent, and it captures the essence of what the arcade original was all about. The NCC version though, and this of course is opinion, but I don't feel that it captures remotely the essence of the arcade original, and worse is the fact that the gameplay experience it delivers makes reading a 200-page instruction manual in the proper application of toilet paper seem like a very exciting prospect. Yeah. On that note, thanks for watching. Take care. See you next time. Bye bye for now.